2 days. Between all the rest of the very little breakdowns, at least another day, it'd be done probably.
Good girl.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my turns red.
Yeah, yes. Yep. Yep.
600.
That's exactly right.
It was great.
Well, good for you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Was there a fire the other day or an accident on Saturday?
yes.
Yeah.
C.R. Holland, one of their buildings.
Oh,
50 to 60 days.
Something to do with, I think, one of the cranes, I think.
Wow. They were there pretty much from, what,
Quite a
like
while.
11 o'clock, like 6 or something?
They were there again yesterday.
180, 190.
Several hours.
I saw that Lake Mills fire truck go by and then another one.
Yeah.
Yep, they were calling for help.
But, you know, when you're standing there watching that corn flow and flow and flow, and then you look up, and there's 90,000 kernels of corn in a bushel. So that means there's 90 million in each semi, and then the one grain bin has 8.1 billion kernels of corn in it, so. Everybody always wanted to know that, right?
Do you watch it when it goes into the auger ever?
Yeah,
And then you look someplace else, the land is moving.
yeah. Yeah, you get that flow, it's almost like watching a fire or water run.
Yeah.
Just that corn just keeps it. The one trailer's got windows on the side of it so you can watch it. All the excitement.
All the excitement.
That part's easy, it's climbing up down that.
Great.
So, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Isn't there a,
Is this
you
on?
have a thing in the middle of this?
No, I forgot that, sorry. I, not married to you anymore.
Really?
Oh
Oh my
There's
goodness.
a gap video on there.
Gee, that's not surprising, is it?
No. You know the thing.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes in the agenda.
Please enter your participant or moderator code followed by the pound key.
I'll second it.
Motion, Senator and Secretary Derby to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor,
Please say your name followed by the pound key.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, he's getting good at that.
This is Mike, I'm on here.
All right.
Good.
Okay, I assume you
So
guys
Carla
said
and Chelsea, you can disregard my voice or my email.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he seconded it.
I didn't hear you guys say aye, I said all in favor.
We can't,
I
none of us do, so.
I intended to.
All right, yeah, wow, there's intentions are good. That's all that matters.
A little distracted.
Grab my apple, the intentions paved the highway to hell. Once I did this.
Got it.
I got mine in color.
All right, 9 AM, discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policy.
So Mike, did you have some information for us on this?
Well, Kelsey sent it to me and we exchanged it. I mean, obviously, you're going above and beyond what the law requires. And basically granting the 160 hours after, you know, it appears under the policy that you'll follow everything, typically what you've done. And then if somebody exhausts everything, then you're going to allow them on a case-by-case basis to potentially access 160 hours. So as far as I'm concerned, you're going above and beyond what the law requires. Therefore, I think that clearly during a pandemic such as we're going through right now, that it clearly has a public purpose. And therefore, I think the board is absolutely fine in adopting something if that's the choice of the board.
Do we have to put anything in there, that spells out, ramifications if they abuse this policy?
I think you have a statement in there that talks about there could be personnel action taken, if I remember correctly. I'm pulling it up right now. I've got it in front of
Oh, yeah, last bullet point of number 2, yeah,
Yeah, maybe subject to disciplinary action, so I think that's all you need.
okay. Is that too vague?
No, that's exactly what you wanted to say.
Then it can cover whatever we want it to cover, right?
Right.
Well, this is a whole new avenue for us, so it's a little challenging to go through things like this.
What was that? I'm
I
sorry.
just said that it's just challenging to go through these new places with things we have to do because of COVID.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are actually adopting something, to start, because everybody is changing all the time. And I think you're being proactive, at least putting the policy into place. And I think that that's a good thing because, remember the FFCRA expires at the end of December. And it's already October and we're having snow and it looks like it could be a long winter. And so I think we're going to be dealing, at least until a vaccine is there, we're going to be dealing with this issue ongoing.
So at some point we may have to update, or no, if the federal rules don't get updated, we may have to readdress this, or if it does, this just goes forward.
Great question, and it's very, very possible. Who knows what the feds are going to do? But when they implemented this in the spring, they put an expiration at the end of December in anticipation that either the pandemic would be under control and/or there would be a vaccine. And as we see right now, it doesn't appear to be under control, and nor is there a vaccine anywhere. They're in development stages. So I don't know. I can't anticipate what the feds will do, but it's something that we just have to be prepared for, and we can adjust once we know more.
Well, hopefully if they do update it, they keep the same name and we don't have to update ours.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Hopefully what they're doing is just going to maybe reset the benefits and extend, which in which case that's pretty easy for you. You won't have to do anything.
Right.
Mike, can we make this retroactive to include one of the employees that has already used all of their,
Isn't that in here?
is it in there?
I thought I saw something about being retroactive.
I didn't see any retroactivity, but you absolutely can.
Yeah, or maybe it was in Kelsey's email.
I think Kelsey talked about it,
Yeah,
but
maybe that was it.
You said we can't do it?
Yes, she left the date open at the top, amended and updated, and you could just put a date that's or in your motion as to when, if you adopt it, when it would be retroactive to whatever date you want to do it.
Okay. That now would be the time to do that.
Absolutely. If you're going to do it when you pass the policy and say we are putting this policy in effect retroactive to September. I don't know what date you need, but September 1 or whatever. Because based on Carla, what I heard Carla say, it sounds like it's only one employee that may be impacted by it, right, Carla?
at this point, yes, but there's there's two for sure.
Yeah, there's more being in.
Yeah, and there's people that are darn close that have kids, and it's kind of,
Yeah, but my point is if you put it in effective today, it would still catch those people. It's just if somebody's already out.
yeah, we have two for sure that are already out and have used sick time.
You mean unpaid?
No, just they've used their sick versus using COVID leave.
Right, but as this policy reads, at least the reason I read it is you're going to give them the 80 hours, which you have to under the law.
Okay.
Then you get to use your sick leave and things like that. And then if you're out of leave, well, maybe full-time employees will not be required to use their accrued sick leave, but okay, I'm sorry, I was reading that wrong. I thought it said, so look at paragraph 2 and then number 1. It says, once an employee has exhausted any sick leave, expanded family and medical leave provided under, and the employee has exhausted all accrued paid sick leave, the following apply. Will not be required to use their accrued sick leave, but will remain on paid status. I don't know that you would have any accrued sick leave, would you, Carla?
Yeah, that's an oxymoron, ain't it?
Yeah, because we've just been paying people COVID separate from their sick leave.
Well, the COVID leave, or there's two different classes, right, of COVID pay. There's the 80 hours that everybody gets for an illness or quarantine or whatever. Then there's that 2/3 pay if their daycare closed, which is a freebie. Also, I shouldn't say a freebie, but it's not charged to an account.
Yep.
So, what are you guys trying to address?
Well,
I wasn't here when this was talked about in the meeting, so honestly, Mike, I don't know.
I guess it skipped over me too, Mike. I'm not comfortable with, in my opinion, they should have to use up their 80 hours of sick leave and then this kicks in.
But my question is, if you do it this way, does this reimburse their sick leave so they can use their sick leave for something else, sick? Or does it have to be COVID related from here on?
Yeah, so what happens if you get
Well,
normal sick? If you
under
use
this policy,
it all,
what you're doing, so if we break this down just a little bit, you're giving an additional 160 hours for COVID-related absences.
Yes.
That's what this policy does.
Yes.
The question is, when does that 160 kick in?
Yeah.
Does it kick in right in addition to the 80? In which case, all we need to say is, you don't have 80, you have 240 hours. You see what I'm saying? Or do you say, okay, no, you get the 80, but then we need people to use their sick leave. And then if you really get in dire straits and you run out of all of your accrued leave, then we will allow 160 hours. An additional.
That's the way I think it should be stated, but.
What do you guys think?
I guess my whole intention with this was that they not have to use their original sick leave for anything COVID related. So that means it's almost like we're giving them a different pot of sick leave that they would use first almost.
Yeah, you would use it first for COVID and then save the regular stuff for whatever sickness may come up.
Right.
Yeah, there's regular flu out there. Colds, pneumonia.
Because the COVID one, you have to show the documentation to qualify for it. So then we'd have to take out that one statement that's underlined.
Exactly, and maybe that's why, yeah.
I can live with that. I mean,
I'm just trying to protect their sick leave for other things.
yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah, literally, that's a good point. It's an easy fix if that's what the intent of the board is it's just taking out and then the underline. Then you'd have the following apply. Full-time employees will not be required to use their accrued sick leave, but remain unpaid for up to 160 hours. And then you have that, and then you have the paid status. So all we're doing is you're moving it from the back end, so to speak, to the front end.
But otherwise, I think if we just take out the underlying part, I think it will work.
It does. That's what I'm saying. Then you're basically, what the board is granting is 240 hours, because you have the 80 plus the 160, 240 hours of free sick leave for COVID-related issues.
Seems like a lot of hours for COVID.
Well, it can add up quickly, I'm sure.
4
weeks. But you have to qualify for every hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to make more sense using this for the COVID stuff and then saving the regular sick leave.
Okay.
Hope that there's as few people as possible that need it.
Well, I guess with those changes, I'll make a motion to approve the policy change as stated.
And when you want it effective.
What did you figure out on that?
What'd you say, Dave? What was that number?
Started it on 9/16.
So
Retroactive to 9/16 or 9/1.
9/1,
9/1? Okay.
effective 9/1 of 2020.
Second. Yeah, I'll second, we can discuss it.
Okay, and a motion from Derby and a second from Stenzer to approve the changes regarding COVID-19 policies to be retroactive to 9/1/2020 for paid sick leave. All in favor,
No,
say aye.
he-
No, okay.
Oh, no,
Discussion.
Okay, discussion.
At what point are we gonna quit guaranteeing? I mean, you look at a self-employed person, you know, if they have to shut down their office, they're screwed, they don't have anybody to, and we gotta remember that those are all our bosses too, from the courthouse. So at what point do we, to me, this is very generous, I'll say that. I'm for it, but it is generous, so,
Well, you know, you hope that somebody self-employed business themselves has got a contingency plan somewhat, but probably.
well, I'll take my son, if he got COVID, he wouldn't be able to meet with clients for 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks.
Unless it was
So what do we
by
do? Are we gonna
electronic means.
guarantee him future sales? I mean, there comes a point where we have to use,
Well, there's risks you take being in business yourself that usually you get paid more than the average hired worker. And when you're in business yourself, you have more risks you have to take. I mean, he could break his leg and not be able to be in the hospital, not be able to. I mean, it's,
exactly.
I mean, but I know what you're saying.
Well, like I say, I mean, I could easily live with this policy, so, but
I was in
for
business.
future add-ons, let's put it this way, for future add-ons, you know, let's say we have a couple of employees that go beyond this. Are we gonna feel sorry for them and change the policy again then, or?
Well, we can discuss it at that time.
Well, and I think that another thing to remember is that we do have a pretty generous sick policy, so to begin with.
Right. Okay,
I would also just say, you know, one of the things that we're trying to do is keep the county open too, and that's always a key, that we don't want somebody coming to work, you know, that then spreads it throughout the county, because we do have, you know, really essential services that have to be provided. Auditor's office this time of year with elections, sheriff's office, those things. So we're trying to, at least most of my clients are trying to manage this to make sure that, not to make this a windfall to employees, but to make sure that we can manage the process so that we don't have a huge outbreak within county government that causes a real adverse impact to taxpayers where we aren't able to provide services. So that's just, I'm not a policymaker, but just one of the things I would add to the thought process.
yeah, that's a great point. Yep.
I'll call for question.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Mike, just, Carla, are you going to take that line out?
I'm gonna take out, okay, so the only thing I need to take out is on the second paragraph, the underlined part, the employee has exhausted all accrued paid sick
Yeah.
leave.
Exactly.
Okay, And that's the only thing that I needed to remove to make it make sense,
And add in the effective date.
and the effective date.
That's good.
Okay,
Thanks, Mike.
thanks,
Okay,
Mike.
guys. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
I guess we probably went in.
This is a standing meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
9:15 a.m. or shortly after. Kristen Peterson to give a report on former LEC.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I need to keep my mask on while I'm presenting?
No.
No, thank you.
Will sound much better.
Yeah, well, some people think that I'm better muffled, so
Not a
it's.
word.
They just assume one a little tighter than what these masks are.
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing.
Thank you for the time today. We are proceeding to do our due diligence on this project. We did not receive the Iowa Workforce Housing Tax Credits, and that was a contingency in our agreement. I think what we'd like to do is ask to just strike that contingency, because the contingency still includes financing, project financing, and we're working towards obtaining that. We're meeting with the bank later today. We've received estimates from 2 contractors, and we're working on comparing those, interviewing them, and refining those into actual bids. And we've received an estimate on the mold removal. There's significant mold that's not getting any better in the addition and the basement to the project. We have not changed our design at all. We're still excited about 10 units of market rate multifamily housing. We're talking about things like in-unit washers and dryers versus not, which we're working toward keeping them in the units. We're talking about all kinds of things like that, details. So last night at the City Electric Commission Committee meeting, they approved recommending a $250,000 grant for the project. And at the City Council meeting, they approved that. And we're still finding a slight gap in our sources and uses. So it's an expensive project. It's really expensive. We need a new roof, we need new windows, we need all electric, all plumbing. We're trying to figure out where the mold is coming from, and that's gonna be another discovery issue. But we wanna do this project. We really are excited about it. So that's, what else? Trying to think what else of an update. We want to do a nice job too. We want to put in the best finishes we can for what we can afford, and create apartments that people will want to live in. I have no fear that these will be leased up at all, and that's not my concern is managing project costs right now.
It's, as you guys owning this building very well know, historic buildings take a bit more. Yeah, it would be a lot cheaper to build new, but we'd rather keep the old. We have a few things going through. The city's grant was quite unique. I didn't come up with it. Barb came up with it, and she requested that everything in the building be electric heat, electric washer and dryers, electric stoves and everything, and then the municipal electric utility made the grant. And they had,
Say, because they got the real power plants.
and so their engineer with DGR did a cash flow analysis of what the increase would be and how long it'll take to pay back. So it was rather ingenious. It was nice to see. And it made up the difference on the tax credits. We've been investigating several different areas, whether it's funding or financing, to lower the gap. After we worked on the budget for a while yesterday, we did lower our gap probably about in half, which was nice. We just still have a ways to go.
And there are things that we would do in a phase 2. For example, replacing the vinyl siding on the addition with brick. We might not be able to afford to do that right away, but we want to do that.
In the front entryway.
And the front entryway I want to do regardless, so I'll figure that one out. But because the building is just flat, we want to make a welcoming entryway. So we have a brick feature design with a couple of light poles and a brick entrance, which will look really nice.
I think Tom Irish would have been pleased to see what could be done with it. And there's 8 one-bedroom apartments and then 2 two-bedroom apartments, 1 on each floor. And if I could find a way for that elevator to come out in just 3 big pieces and we could save those panels, it'd be lovely. The contractors aren't exactly sharing my thoughts.
That's coming out, so.
Yeah. I got asked, are you willing to pay for that? I said, no. But if you could do it.
Do you have any questions of us?
Well, you were talking about changing the agreement. Are we looking at doing a change in the agreement soon, or?
The one contingency said that it was contingent upon us receiving Iowa workforce housing tax
Right.
credits. And I don't know if we have to change the agreement, we didn't get them. And I think that contingency is more to protect me, because if I don't get them, I can say, I didn't get them, I can't do the deal, I'm not interested, see ya, and I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
So, right now it says contingent upon receiving the tax credits and project financing. We still want it to be contingent on financing, because I can support the debt that we're asking for, I just need to convince a bank of that, and then we'll be good to go.
We're meeting with MBT later today, and they've been quite supportive. We just have to verify our numbers and show our cash flow that we can pay them back.
Okay.
As every good banker would do.
So the mold, is it on the walls in the basement?
From the last time we were here until, a month ago, or a few weeks ago that I took a contractor through, it has grown substantially.
Backpack sprayer with 50% bleach and 50% water, you spray on the walls, it disappears.
No, the sheetrock needs to come out. It's mostly in the addition.
Put on the cement too, yeah, and he needs it to be a certain temperature in there, so it's getting too cold to remediate right now until we get heat going in the building. But he can do the upper, the main floor, in the addition, and we just said, gut it all, just get rid of it. Because all those walls have to come out.
Does the EPA or whoever's in charge of that, do they require all mold be out of there?
Your bank will require a remediation statement. We're working.
Black mold is not harmful.
We're gonna abide by what the bank says we have to do.
From a liability perspective too, I don't want my tenants to
No,
get lung disease later and then say, there's mold.
Yeah.
So-
But I got black mold in my basement, so I did some research, and I was shocked when I found out that black mold is.
We've been working with Virgo Environmental, Jeff Virgo from Mason City.
Oh.
As I tell him, I take him to my crappiest places. He did the mold remediation when we were marketing the CycleSat building. He went through the Village Chateau and did mold and asbestos remediation. He's working with the city now on asbestos from the former, I'll say the former Fort City Foods Bar, prefers to say the new library. And I've had him out around for a couple of other places. Oh, the Hanson Hardware stores we emptied both basements, and then he came in and did a remediation. There was a mold there that they said, I've never seen that before. So, yeah. But it's all squeaky clean down there now.
In 10 years from now, it'll be all moldy.
No, not with the rest of it. Well, the one thing is to
It's
take it out.
impossible.
The other thing is to do a remediation on it and a new program.
Mold is a way of life.
The mold is a way of life. Exactly.
Makes good cheese, right?
You did, yeah,
You're from Wisconsin, aren't you?
Well, that-
Yeah.
That it makes sense, so.
Yeah.
So we got a new version there, we have a new version, so.
So we could have a business incubator in
There
this.
you go, yeah.
Oh. So
Well, thanks for the update.
Yeah.
It-
Go on, then, good luck.
As far as timing is concerned, I'd love to say we could start the project yet this calendar year, and the mold guy's ready to start as soon as we give him the green light. As soon as we get our financing in place, we probably would want to move forward with that remediation while the architect was refining the drawings for the contractors, and we're getting solid bids on that, so we can just keep moving forward. But both contractors have quoted us about a 6-month turnaround on project completion once they start, so. We're dealing with a lot of unknowns right now with their schedules, the price of materials, and then the ability to get materials and equipment, so.
Oh, I know.
yeah. Terry's got a
Like,
few.
wrap this up, might behoove you to put it off 6 months too.
Well, that's what I was wondering in this amendment
Yeah.
to the contract, we put some timelines in there, didn't we?
Yeah, you said December 2021 for
Yeah.
completion, so that made me feel good.
I don't look at material prices coming down for at least 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and lumber is one of the big things, we have some walls, but we don't have a huge need for
Right.
2x4s. It's compared to other
Or
projects.
OSB is not required.
Right. Yeah. So we'll just see. We're moving forward, that's the good news,
Yeah.
and we're not interested in dragging our feet, and I'm excited.
Wonderful.
It's just a little
I'm
money
excited,
is
I'm
making-
excited that you're
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, these
Just a little
trivial
money.
things, yeah,
It has a few digits in it.
yeah.
So, but you know, we've broken it down into several different layers of, you know, some grants. So currently we have, with the 80,000 from the county and from the city, we have 330,000 in grants. We're looking at a little more than double of that in financing. But
And then owner cash, and then we'll look for those smaller ways to fill gaps. But it's not gonna be one of these simple financing deals.
Oh,
It'll
no.
be layers, like she said, which is, every project now is layers of financing, so.
that's the reason they call it lasagna financing.
But
It lowers the risk for everybody also.
with the added cost of building materials and stuff, I guess if it came to it, I guess I would be relatively friendly to extending that.
But I think the end of the year would still be probably enough time.
feasible.
Yeah.
So. I
They
mean,
both came in at 6 months.
Yeah.
And we have two, you know, area good general contractors that are quoting on this. It's still a good size project.
I believe I'm wrong, but like, yeah, we're all born, so.
I was born there.
I was born there.
Yes, bear this in
Cassuth
mind.
County's on the line.
All right, we're almost ready for you.
Yeah, we have all the supervisors, one on a conference call with you, and
We're just finishing up the subject, we'll be right with you.
You know, if we just got so much for everybody who was born there,
Yeah,
we could do this. Bill, you could be honorary.
there you go, yeah, what do they call that, once removed?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
that's half the county.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you
All right,
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah, watch your step. Okay, 9:30 AM, consider approval annexation report for joint DD 68-136.
Okay. Is this new? Do we need to do the, or is this?
No, this has been going on for
Okay.
like a year.
Good, just checking.
So finally got a report. This is from Rick. Rick, are you on the phone?
yes, I am.
Okay. This only has one parcel in Winnebago County that needs to be annexed in, and I'm assuming it's just because of the watershed.
Correct.
It's right there.
So this is the only one in the 2-county area.
No, this is just Winnebago counties. I'm not sure, Marge, are you on the phone too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure what he sent for you for Cassuth County.
2 parcels.
Oh, good. Okay.
So what county are they in? 2 in Cassuth and 1 in Winnebago. Okay. This is, in our procedure, this happens often. When we're doing the reclassification, we check the boundary, and there's often a few parcels that were left out before because they followed property lines rather than watershed lines. This is just to get that cleaned up. And to set the hearing date on the report.
Well, anybody got any problems with it? Hearing none, I would consider,
You can make the motion.
or I'll make a motion to approve annexation report for joint DD 68-136. Do I have a second?
Kyle Stecker seconded.
Okay, motion Bill and a second from Kyle to approve annexation report for joint DD 68-136. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
All eyes here.
Okay, all ayes here.
Bill. Roger, can you tell me again who's on all there from Cassuth County, please?
Jack Flatt's on the phone from Cassuth County.
Jack Flats,
Plath.
Plath.
Yeah.
Okay,
With an E, P-L-A-T-H-E.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
there's an E on the end.
and then Roger,
Jarks.
Kyle Stecker,
Donnie Law.
Donnie Laws,
Tani,
Gail and Casey.
Donnie.
Donnie.
Yep.
Loss,
Loss, yep.
Loss.
Yep.
So 4,
And Kyle Stecker.
We've got Kyle.
You get Gail and Casey,
No, that's the one we're missing.
Gail,
and Marge, I imagine, is Morgan there?
Marge is there and Amber.
And Amber both, yep.
thank you.
All right. Then we'll move on to number 8. Set public hearing date for annexation report for joint DD 68-136.
I would recommend December 15th at 10 o'clock. Does that work for Cassuth?
I hear no objections from here.
Okay. So I'll make the motion to have the hearing date for the annexation report for joint DD 68-136 at 12:15 at 10 o'clock.
December 15th.
I'll second your motion, Roger Jarks.
What's the location?
Okay, and a motion from,
What, question?
question?
She had a
Teleconference?
I think telephone would be fine, don't you?
Yes,
Okay.
we're just checking to make sure.
Yes, that would be fine, thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous here.
Unanimous here. Okay, 9:35 a.m. Consider for approval reclassification report for joint DD 68-136.
Rick, did you have any comments?
Not really, I'd be glad to go over with the board sometime as far as procedure, but you've probably all been through it enough to have a pretty good understanding. So we're open to do whatever your wishes are.
And I believe that Winnebago County now has more of the percentage. I need to have them back.
If there's any objections, we'll have to file it with Winnebago County, so you'll,
Yeah. There's a lot of little laterals in here.
yeah, just let us know if anything happens ahead of time.
Okay. Did you guys get a chance to look through the reports? Or the big report?
Not much.
Okay.
A lot of pages.
A lot of pages.
first name on there.
Hang on.
Well, then, I'll make a motion to approve the reclassification reclassification report for joint DD 68-136.
Got a second from here? Donnie Wild, seconds.
Okay. Motion from Bill and a second from Donnie to approve the reclassification report for joint DD 68-136. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Alright,
Aye.
Aye. All ayes here.
All ayes here. Okay, number 10, set public hearing date for reclassification report for joint DD 68-136.
I would recommend December 15th at 10:05.
Now, is that 10 o'clock, is that the?
The annexation, yeah. So 10:05 would be the
I thought I
reclass.
heard 12.
no, he was saying the date 12:15.
Oh,
Yeah.
12:15,
Yeah.
yeah.
10-4, perfect.
Sounds great here.
All right, then I'll make the motion to, set the public hearing date for reclassification report for joint DD 68-136 for December 15th at 10:05.
I'll second your motion.
Motion from Bill and a second from Roger. All in favor, say aye.
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 All ayes here.
This is Rick. I just encourage you to direct calls you get to us from landowners. Often we can clear up a lot of questions before the hearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
You don't have to sign it.
well, I guess, that's it, unless you guys wanna just have some trivial chit chat.
What do you got, Bill?
Well, if I was to unload my cranial cogitations onto you, I don't know if you could handle it, so.
That's true. We're not quite ready for that, Bill.
Okay, I kinda thought maybe you might not be, so I guess we'll just have to leave that for another day.
You bet.
All right.
We'll hang up on you.
All right, you guys have a good day.
You bet.
Gary Helgeson's gonna do some work on a ditch up by, Ron Penny.
Who is?
There's a slump in, Gary Helgeson.
Oh, okay,
He's
okay.
coming out to do work for Ron anyways, so.
Okay, perfect. And I had a little quote from Larson Contracting to do that part of DD1. It's for $7,300. So I just need a signature because it's under our $10,000.
Here,
Well, no, it's fine because that's page 2.
all right.
Perfect. And here's the.
Okay, well, we'll get to Scott here quick. Scott Miners, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
Quick update on construction, our paving projects. Of course, the paving's done and now the shouldering is complete as well. And we're just hoping for good weather to get grooving and paint striping done, hopefully next week. And that'll kind of get the projects closed, so we're on the home stretch for those projects. Other than that, our guys are working on some edge ruts up by Lake Mills. I think they're on R72 today.
Working on what?
Edge rut, some of the drop offs on the edge of the pavement. Filling those with rock. That's about it.
Was that dip I called you back on the shoulder out just north of Thompson there, was that as bad as it looked from the truck, or?
Yeah, we had fixed a pipe separation that was really close to the edge of the pavement, or maybe even a little bit under, I didn't see it. But since they packed it back in, it settled a little bit, and even the edge of the pavement's starting to shear off a little bit, so we'll need to keep some rock in there and monitor it. Yeah. The culvert you mentioned too up on 80th, I don't know what happened with that one, but it was smashed perfectly shut, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's somebody, I don't know what happened to it. I was trying to figure out how it could have got, like, twisted up almost.
I don't know. But we'll have to get her cut open.
Yeah.
Or replaced or something.
It was walking from one part of the field down to get the other truck and walking.
Yeah, that's when you notice things, when you get a better look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I driven by it several times and never saw it. But once I was walking past there, see it. Yeah, I didn't look at the water was flowing through it too good.
Yeah, luckily it's been dry, but I wouldn't like to see a storm
Yeah,
go through there.
you know, it could have been that way for who knows how long.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, anything else for secondary roads?
And did anything get done on the 440th and 180th?
I haven't followed up on it.
Hopefully get a little moisture for it to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. Jump back up to number 3, discussion of possible action, changing, what?
We probably should go back to 2. All we talked about was the policy for sick time.
Oh, all right.
Are we gonna keep the same policy? Julie, you on?
No, she's not.
Oh. And keep the same,
She's out. So.
Everything is the same except for what we changed.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
perfect sense.
What did you change?
It's
I'll send out the policy when I get it
Just-
fixed.
Change the sick leave for it to be retroactive so nobody can run out because of this whole
if
thing.
you have COVID or if you're using COVID hours, use that first instead of your sick leave.
Okay, then, discussion on possible action, changing board of supervisors meeting the day of the election, November 3rd, 2020. We're gonna switch it to like Monday or Wednesday or,
I won't be here Monday because I'll be setting up.
okay. Switch it to Wednesday or,
We're gonna do, maybe there might not be an agenda, much of an agenda.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we could cancel it that week and just have it the next.
Would you do me a favor and look at the agenda?
Okay.
make sure there's.
I mean, I don't,
nothing
I
on
could just,
Right, I think the one thing I was thinking of was Julie's monthly postponing the tax sale.
Well, she
So
can,
that can be moved, yeah.
she can do that a
Can
different
we do
day.
that the week before?
I don't know why not.
Yeah.
I just can't remember if that was the only thing else I had
And I
remembered on
remember
there.
saying that I would guess that we're always smart enough not to put something, with a date and a time on it, on election day anyway.
Yeah, that resolution. That's
Yeah.
the only thing.
So,
Move it.
there we go.
We can
Yeah,
move
just do
that.
it next week.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll have to ask her, because I don't know if it has to be dated. I don't know.
I don't know. But if we're
We've
not,
been doing.
But we could do it the next week, and so we
Yeah.
don't have 2 in October and 1, nothing in the
We're
week.
we're doing it month by month, so I don't know
Mhm.
why we can't do it the week before.
Yeah. So,
she can decide whether she wants it on the 27th
or the next one.
or the 10th.
Perfect.
I just know that it's gonna be crazy in my office, and it's gonna be hard for me to get anybody from my office here because we've got so much right now.
That's understandable.
That frees me up to help you.
Yes.
I think you need to volunteer me.
you been positioned yet?
I've been told what date and times the classes are. Whether I can be taught anything will be the next thing. Okay, well, then, I guess I'll make a motion to just, cancel the board meeting for the week of, November 3rd, 2020,
I'll second
due
it.
to the elections. Motion from Judgeville, a second from Derby to cancel the meeting, the week of November 3rd, 2020, because of the elections. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
2016, we had just over 1,700 absentee voters. This year, we have over 2,200 absentee voters.
They can't be accounted ahead of time, can they?
No, we count them election day.
You got to be counted from election day.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
Because it would be nice if you could start on that ahead of time, you start counting them, but you can't, can you?
We could have them start opening on the Saturday before or that Monday, but I believe that we can get it done on election day, so we're just gonna, I have an absentee board this year. It's, I don't know who's, off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but anyway.
Most of them are the same as you've done before then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, well, Chris left the room. Dave's not here. We have the sheriff's quarterly report.
Yep.
All right. Consider for approval sheriff's quarterly report.
Did you stamp that approved?
Not yet. I wanted to make sure everybody was okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I haven't signed it yet, so.
All right, second.
A motion from Senator, a second from Derby to approve the sheriff's quarterly report. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I'm gonna sign this thing so I can figure out what's in it.
It's all Russian disinformation.
There you go. I predicted that one.
We can only say that about the sheriff's report.
Yep. Okay, consider for approval, public purpose policy.
The department that requested to put it on there didn't bring it in, so we'll,
Wait till next time.
yep.
All right. We'll move on to number 14, open forum.
Well, let's see what we got here.
Morning. Were your ears buzzing when we were talking about you?
Yes, they were. Thank you, Carly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my resolution can be done the next week
Following or before?
after the 10th. Is it? I'll just bring it in then.
Okay.
Say, Bill, this is Robert Schwartz.
Yes,
Is Julie Swenson in the room there yet?
yes, she is.
Okay, we wanted to talk to you about. Oh, wait a minute, I got to turn something down here. Hang on one second. The Conservation Board approved applying for an account, or excuse me, working with. Wait a minute, I got. There we go. We're going to use Heartland Payment Systems to accept payments for our cabin rental out at Thorpe Park. We have anywhere from 100, 145 rentals
per year, and it's all basically over the phone. They call to reserve the cabin, and then they send in a check, or checks, I should say, and most of them ask if we have a way to pay over the phone, and we don't. So by using Heartland, we wouldn't actually have a card reader. We would just use their system. The payment would go directly into an account that Julie will set up. There'll be a bill type and all the information that she needs on her end to track it, and they can do daily, weekly, or monthly reports. And I know we've been talking with Julie for off and on for over a year about it, and we just finally got something kind of figured out here in the last couple of weeks. And Julie wanted just to run it by you guys to let you know what we were doing. Julie, have you got anything you want to add?
We just want to keep you guys informed on what, the different payments coming through the county. And according to Robert, this is going to help him with the people that want to rent the cabins that are not here, but they call over the phone, so he can do it by credit card. This will go right into their conservation fund, and then he's got to keep track of it. We also will have track of what money is coming into that account. Give us a miscellaneous receipt fund number, and hopefully it'll work better for him and for the people that want to rent the cabins. And he talked about future payments going in there for for their new building and rentals for that. And there's a lot of possibilities.
Robert, what's the name of the company? Heartland what?
It's our
Heartland Payment Systems, and that's what you use already with the recorder in the treasurer's office.
All right.
And Robert, am I correct in saying that you thought this was the easier way to go with Heartland than the other companies that you were checking out?
Yeah, I was working with Eric Goose as well, trying to find some other online type payment systems, and this one seemed to be the most streamlined. The fees are 2.25% for credit cards and $2 for a debit card that will get actually billed directly to the customer, so that we won't be paying those fees. There's a $250 one-time setup fee they'll invoice the Conservation Board for. And the application itself is pretty simple. Julie will have to provide them with some routing information. Other than that, just some basic information that's provided. And as Julie mentioned, when the nature center does get built, the board's is figuring that eventually we'll be renting out part of the center for the public and for other groups, and those fees could also be ran through this Heartland payment system as well.
So I guess I just wanted you guys to be aware of what, we do this for all the other departments too that want to go through credit card or online payments.
Can this system be used also for bank transfers, like, say for instance, our loans with Winworth Betco? And we'd like to set it up on an automatic every month type thing. Could it be used for the...
We've tried to work that out with Melissa, and no, I will not go into somebody else's bank account and pull the money. They're doing credit card is what Robert's doing, and then everybody that pays on our Heartland is through credit card as well. They're entering their own information.
Some of these places I go and spend money, they offer you the choice of from your bank account or from your credit card.
A debit
Yeah.
or a credit, yep. And that's
Wow.
what we do too, and that's what Robert will. Because you either pay, your $2 debit charge or your 2.25% credit card charge. So you can do either way, and you can do that down in our office.
But there's some of them I've used where if you use a bank routing number, then there's no fee.
Oh, that, I don't know, that's not how we're set up.
Okay. That's why I asked.
you guys have any other questions for Robert or myself, or?
No, it's the way the world's going, so
Yeah.
it makes it easier for the people to rent the cabins, so much the better.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I will also give you just a quick update. I don't know if you'd seen my minutes from the last couple of meetings, but the Conservation Board had Mark Moyne in with Martin Gardner Architecture to talk about possibly when the kind of a timetable for bid letting. And the board decided that the final plans we're getting those finalized here, hopefully this week and next. They will make plans available to contractors in the middle of December, and they're looking at a mid-January bid letting. They had talked about doing something yet this fall, and just felt that with the prices that have been impacted by COVID, hopefully, I heard Terry say earlier today that hopefully materials will start to turn around here after the first year, but we're hoping for a better bid too as well. If we wait a little longer, the contractors will be looking for spring work. So as of right now, it's looking like mid-January for a bid letting.
And you'll still have the right to refuse any and all bids?
Yes. That'll be up to the board to decide if they want to accept the bid or not. And I believe you were aware too, we had gotten a $250,000 CAT grant earlier this fall, and the CAT grants are based on reimbursement, so you have to expend the money to get the grant. So, but that with other funding and the TIF money puts us to within about $100,000 of where we needed to be, and we actually have really this whole next year to raise that extra money that we're going to need. The board included an elevator in the project, which originally was in their plans, and they took it out to save some money, and then decided later on this past summer to go ahead and put it back in there. That was the best way to go, and so that did add to the expense.
Was that one of the requirements of the CAT grant?
They didn't actually come out and say it was a requirement, but the chairman of the CAT grant committee is an architect, and when he asked about an elevator, and he kind of got the impression that if they didn't include the elevator, it might have made it a little tougher to get the money approved, or maybe it wouldn't have. We don't know, but they didn't actually come right out and say you had to have it, but they strongly encouraged it. So, and I think in the long run, that's going to be the way to go. We lose a little bit of space, but not that much for the convenience it's going to provide.
But you still have to pay to get the inspection done every year too.
Yes, right. Yeah, we had to. We have to add the elevator itself takes up about 10 foot by 10 foot, and then there's a maintenance room, a small maintenance room by about 6 by 8, right next to that. So, I guess we gave up a little bit of space, but not a huge amount. So that's all I've got, unless you got some questions.
The people in wheelchairs will certainly appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And those of us that get older.
As we all get older, exactly, right.
Anymore, Jerry?
I'm gaining another year tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow's 61.
All right, well, thanks a lot. If there are no other questions, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep, see ya.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday ahead of time.
Sure.
Oh, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Consider for approval resolution to authorize the issuance of the county's general obligation refunding bonds.
So as you probably can realize, Jeff and Heidi are really busy right now doing a lot of these.
Yeah.
Jeff called me earlier and said they're both going to be on other conference calls. If we have any questions, we can text him and he could call us, but otherwise he's juggling other ones right now.
That's pretty straight.
It's just our third step now. And I didn't think I had any questions in it. It's all spelled out in there.
I'm ready.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to authorize the issuance of county's general obligation refunding bonds.
I will second that.
Motion Derby and a second from Stensrud to approve a resolution to authorize the issuance of the county's general obligation refunding bonds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, roll call.
No, just roll call.
Dunsvold,
Aye.
Derby.
Aye.
Stensrud,
Aye. Make a motion.
Okay. We never did get to the auditor's office to discuss drainage matters.
We did discuss them, we just didn't announce it.
Is there anything else?
she'd be here if there was something else I could.
I didn't have anything else.
I don't know. Okay, consider for approval semi-monthly county claims.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Motion from Stensrud and a second from Derby to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, then we stand adjourned.
How do you spell Galen Casey?
G-A-L.
Ian,
E-A-N?
Ian,
And it's Casey?
I would, yeah, I guess it's just like Casey's. I'll look it up.
Carla, can you send me a copy of the resolution for that, for the
Yeah.
obligation bond?
Yep.
Thank you.
So is that guy in the computer store, is he a Russian agent too?